Good morning and welcome to the Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening. This is really a brave new world, and this word brings us new information every day. The explosion of knowledge is so overwhelming that imagination staggers. Did you hear what Cyborg Botany is? Well, this is a new branch of knowledge which is recently making such changes in plant life that they are going to affect our very existence. Professor Harpreet Singh and Patty May of MIT Media Labs Interface Group are making Cyborg Botany sound like a cyberpunk novel of the 80s, but it's not that. Have you ever wished that you could have an app on your smartphone with which you could control a Venus flytrap? The flies come on that flytrap, and with the app, you could kill the flies and the mosquitoes, but ensure that the butterflies are not killed. It was a dream, it was a thought, and now it's a fact. They are coming forward with those ideas which are staggeringly novel, astonishing, and this modern technology enables us to utilize plants, and not by themselves, but their ability of sensory detection. And then they become partners in our progress in the modern technology. Imagine plants becoming security devices. You have a house, and the plants around your house are the guardians. According to Harpreet Singh, the plants are organisms available at a scale that is self-repairing, self-regenerating. Now, this is one of the most important things, that they are self-regenerating. And through Cyborg Botany, these two researchers are envisioning a convergent design world in which the natural capabilities would be reconditioned, restructured, and reformulated for a new bio-interactive design. And what is the main thing? They say that they have two capabilities of the plants which can be developed. One is the psychoactuators, which act as inputs, and planta digitalis, which are inputs. So outputs and inputs are both going to be manipulated to work with human interaction. As a matter of fact, the phytoactuators can trigger a Venus flytrap. What they do is they attach, allows us to receive signal, and through an accompanying app, control how and when the flytrap should work. In the other one, the planta digitalis, which is input, the plants keep on absorbing information from the atmosphere, from the surroundings, from the environment. And they have grown a conductive wire inside the plant. So the plant is growing, and along with that, a wire is growing. And that wire grows by a water-soluble polymer, ProDot. That is the starting point of the new cyber plant. So new plants are going to be created, and they would be connected like sensors of antennas. This would enable the plants to work as our security devices. As the information comes, and these sensors would be actuated and protect us, emit signals. And this cyborg botany would enable plants to become our partners in having better environment control, protect us physically, and allow us to manipulate, control plant for our good. Maybe the next step, according to Sri, is to tell the plants to grow, say, 2 heads of cabbage instead of 1, or 2 ears of corn instead of 1, or to reduce the production, or to diversify it, or to dwarf the quality, and so on and so forth. According to MIT professors, the opportunities are limitless. When we were talking of the smartphone, that there should be an app on the smartphone, and this would enable us to control the plants. But smartphones by themselves, every day we hear lot of noise, and that noise is about the harmful effects of the smartphone. But now from Australia comes the news. The University of Sunshine Coast, Australia, was shocked when they saw that there were 218 people between the age of 18 and 30 who came to them with one complaint. The MIRs were taken, the X-rays were taken, the ultrasounds were done, and then they found that the excessive use of smartphone has enabled a new layer of bone in the skull. They say just above your neck, at the back of the skull, they felt a small spike, and that was an extra layer of bone. This is called occipital protuberance. It's a growth at the back of the head, and according to Dr. David Shah at the University of Sunshine Coast, he said this is extremely very rare. It used to happen 1 in 10 million people. And now, all of a sudden, 218 people have come between the age of 18 to 30. And the growth is visible only when it is 10 millimeters long. So initially you cannot identify it, but they say it can be extremely harmful because it would impact the nerves and make human beings lose balance. So this is one effect of smartphone which was not known hitherto. Are we still so fond of the smartphone? Incidentally, I saw an interesting cartoon today. Actually, it was not a cartoon. It's a telling commentary. And he says, when there was a wire connected to a telephone, human beings are free. When the wire is not connected to telephone, human beings have become slaves to that telephone. But then when we talk of fly traps and apps in the smartphone controlling them, the natural corollary is that the smartphone is becoming so common in use to the extent it's excessively being used beyond the use detailed by common sense. What does it depend on? It is basically the exploitative use of internet. And now A new research has been done by a combination of scientists from America, Australia, and Europe. And they have said, that neurologists have done this survey, that internet use, excessive internet use, is harmful because it's going to kill your memory. And that's correct. You remember in the old days, we used to remember the tables. And now, who knows the tables? Possibly if you ask a child what is 6 times 9, he won't know it. He'll take out his calculator. But now with the smartphone coming in, excuse me please. With the smartphone coming into the aid, they don't have to take an extra calculator, so they calculate it. So their use of memory has not been used. That has fallen into disuse. And anything which follows into disuse becomes useless. So when you Google everything or go to Wikipedia for everything, you don't want to remember things. We used to remember the battles of Panipat, first battle, second battle. We used to remember the 100 years war between France and England, and we knew who the main players were. We used to remember Shakespeare, whether it was King Lear or Hamlet ruminating. We used to remember facts of geography, facts of history. But we don't need to remember them. So with the natural priorities being changed, we immediately go to our cell phone, to our laptop, go to Google, and find out what's what. And then second after, we forget it. As a matter of fact, many times my guests come and I hate it when I say something and they have got to Google it to know it. And I say, why? Googling is good to know new things. Use internet to know new things, not to be used as memory aids. Otherwise, you are going to kill your memory, and that's not a happy thing to do. And now talking of the plants which I started with, I remember that the robots, the Cyborg Botany, let's come to the robots. The robots in the old days used to have blood. You know, if you see the comics, when I was a child, we used the comics, and the robot, the extraterrestrial being would come, and they had a body fluid, the blood. Blood used to be green or blue, but some kind of blood. The modern robots don't have that. The robot is powered by some kind of a hydraulic system, and they don't bleed. But Cornell University and University of Pennsylvania, they say no. Why should, if a robot resemble the human being in everything, if it performs the human function, why should it not have blood? So they have made a multi-purpose system that could solve two major problems in robotics: the power and the movement. The biggest hassle facing the robots is their movement, which is very stilted, and power. So in animal world, these jobs are performed by the joints of the body and the blood in the body. As a matter of fact, for millions of years, evolution have hammered out the organisms. So what they have done is, these scientists in Cornell and Pennsylvania had developed a blood. So the robots would have blood. So they have engineered a fish to start with, which is equipped that can be described as a very crude circulatory system, but it's a circulatory system on the lines of the living beings created by nature. And the blood in this case is a sort of a fluid that acts as a battery for storing energy. Interesting. But it can also be used as a hydraulic system to allow the fish to move its fins. So it is having two uses, as a battery storage system and as a hydraulic system to enable the fish to move. So day is not far off when the robots would have blood, the blood that sustains them, that makes them move, that empowers them. And that would be a major achievement. So these are the few nuggets of knowledge to widen your horizons of knowledge. I'm sure you like them. Meet you next week. Thank you.